All right, today I'm going to be showing you how to make perfectly fluffy vegan mashed potatoes. We enjoy this recipe all year round in our household, but we especially love it during the holiday season. It just seems to be that perfect side dish no matter what you make. Now, it's really important that you do a couple of things just right to make sure that you have that fluffy mashed potato that you really want and nothing else. There's a couple of secrets, I'm going to be sharing them with you today. Okay, so we'll start with our potatoes. We need about 3 pounds. And I like using the russet potatoes. Just give them a good peel. Get every last little bit of brown off, every little eye in there. Otherwise, they will show up in the potatoes. Now, when it comes to chopping the potatoes before we boil them, I like to make them into smaller pieces rather than large so that they don't take a really long time to cook. So I just do about 2-inch chunks or so and try and make them all uniform so that they cook at the same speed. All right, this is what we're looking for. All right, now here's a big secret, a huge time saver. The peeling and the chopping of the potatoes can be done 3 to 4 days in advance. All you need to do is place them in a storage container or a large bowl, completely cover those potatoes with water, and then seal it so it's airtight. Stick it right in the fridge until the day you need them, and then let them sit at room temperature for about 60 minutes or so to warm up a bit before you place them in the pot. I'm telling you, massive time saver. So that's exactly what I did. I actually made these yesterday, peeled and chopped. So now all we need to do is cover them with water once again. And we don't want to boil our water in advance like you would for pasta. It's really important that the water and the potatoes heat up at the same time. And over to the stove we go. All right, we're bringing our water to boil over medium-high heat. And once it's boiling, we're gonna allow our potatoes to cook in that boiling water for a good 10 to 12 minutes until they're very fork tender. Now, in the meantime, we're gonna measure out our milk and our butter. Now, I've already done so. We have a little over a half a cup of dairy-free milk here. I'm using almond milk today. And for the full recipe, you can jump on AudreyDunham.com, simply search for mashed potatoes. And I should also mention that I have a vegan Thanksgiving cookbook called Vegan Thanksgiving Dinner and Pies that you can find any place books are sold, as well as my shop on AudreyDunham.com. All right, here's a tip about non-dairy milk. When it comes to cooking and baking, you wanna avoid any type of milk that has a lot of starch. We're talking oat milk, everybody, or any type of milk that has had any kind of fat or oil added to it. Also talking about oat milk. So I say cashew, almond, soy, unsweetened, of course. Trust me on this. All right, so we also want our dairy-free butter. Now I've already cut the amount that we need. This is all set. We'll save this for garnishing later. Now we want these at room temperature before we add them to our potatoes, so we want to make sure that they are not cold right out of the fridge. That's why right now is the perfect time to take them out if you haven't already done so an hour ago. Now you may be wondering, why in the world can you not add cold ingredients to your mashed potatoes? We want to handle our potatoes as minimally as possible. We don't want to overmix them. That makes them kind of gooey and gummy and glue-like. And to do that, we want ingredients that are not cold, otherwise they will take longer to mix in with the potatoes. All right, our potatoes have been boiling for about 11 minutes now. I'm feeling confident that they're good to go. Let's find out. All right, a nice big fork, right down the center, very fork tender, almost to where they could break right in half when you, yep, see that? It just broke right in half. That's what you want. If there's any sort of tough give, they need to keep boiling for another minute or two. Got a lot of steam here. These look great. All right, let's drain. Very carefully drain these beautiful potatoes. Make sure we get all of that water out and then return it right to the pot. Okay, we have our room temperature almond milk going in and our room temperature butter as well. Now a little note on the butter, if I can find the seam here. Okay, seriously? All right, there we go. There are many different types of dairy-free butter out there. I prefer the ones that have vegetable oil blend listed as the first ingredient. There's a lot of butters out there that have coconut oil listed first. I'm really partial to the vegetable oil blend simply because the flavor is better. But feel free to use any type of dairy-free butter that you like. And on top, then we have our salt and pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper plus more to taste. And typically I like adding an extra little pinch. All right, and for our salt, I start with about 1.5 teaspoons. If you're sensitive to salt, you can certainly start with less. All right, now from here, there are options. You can take a traditional potato masher, which is what I'm using today. If you do not like lumps, you might want to consider using a ricer or a food mill, which are both really simple, easy options if you'd like to go that route. Give this a nice mash, working in that butter and the milk and salt and pepper. It would not be a cooking video if that clock did not go off at least once. Oops, I'm losing some potato there. All right, looking good. I think we're nice and smooth. This can sit on the stove in the pot. You just want to cover it with plastic wrap or a lid, and it will sit and stay very, very hot, just like that. Now, one thing you want to check before you serve though is to make sure that they haven't dried out at all. If they have, you just need to add another splash of room temperature or warm milk and mix it in just very lightly, and they'll be nice and creamy again. Add these to our serving bowl. Okay, I should say, now before you add your potatoes to your serving vessel of choice, give them a taste to make sure you have enough salt and pepper, and add more as needed. I've made these so many times, I'm feeling pretty confident here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add these to the bowl. These are looking great. Really fluffy and light, and you can easily make them just slightly creamier by adding another tablespoon or 2 of warm milk. And of course, you wanna transfer it to your bowl right before serving to make sure they're nice and hot. All right, they're beautiful as it is, but if you would like to take the presentation up a notch, let me teach you a couple little tips. You can create a little divot right in the center, and then you can create like a little circle around the edge. And what we're doing is we're creating a place for extra butter. We have that extra little bit of butter, and we place it right on top. And as it melts, it will start to go into that circle that we created around the edge, all the little divots that we added. It's gonna look so beautiful and enticing, and I guarantee people are gonna be dying to get the bits of mashed potatoes that have that melted butter on it. All right, one last little thing. If you like to add a little color, you can take just a tiny bit of parsley. It's amazing how just adding a little extra color will make your potatoes look really, really pretty. And we're literally talking just the tiniest little sprinkle right over the top. And look at what that adds. The extra little touch of beauty to these potatoes. Optional, of course, but it's kind of nice. All right, just gonna try a little sample here. Oh yeah. Perfect amount of salt and pepper and a little bit of butter, creamy. I really love this recipe, it's so good. Now, if you try this recipe, please be sure to comment below, let me know what you think. And of course, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.